Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel for the 31 days of Halloween. As you can see, today we are doing Morticia. We're going to jump right in and use Shop Miss A's Brow Sculpting Pencil in Ebony. If you see me look down at any of the video, it's because I'm looking at a picture of her and I'm trying to get her brows or any features correct. Cleaning up the brows as usual, and I didn't do a ton of cleaning up on these because that pencil really allowed me to do what I needed to, but just using a little bit of concealer and going around those edges on the bottom only just to make sure that they are nice and clean. You know we're about to start that eye detail when you see me putting concealer on the eyelid and prepping it. For Morticia's eye makeup, it's pretty smoky, not super smoky, but it's smoky in the crease. Even though I'm making this my own eye look, I wanted to give a little bit of base to the black eyeshadow to help it stick and have it be a little bit more pronounced and bold. So hence going in with a black pencil and blending it out with which makes it a cream base, and then we can put our shadow on top of it to blend it and help it be a little bit more bold. Here I am just going with a black shadow. I use the black shadow in the 35B palette, but you can really use any black shadow that you're looking for. And I'm just going to end up packing this in as best I can and then blending out as much as I can as well. But I really use just one black shadow in this look, and then I'm going to blend it out. And then we end up using a white shadow as well. Here we are just using a little bit of a fluffy brush, dense fluffy brush, and blending out that edge. Get into this eye detail. I gotta bring y'all in a little bit closer. Oh, hey, girl. Here we are. We're just gonna cut out that little eye space that we're gonna use. I don't know what we call this eye look, but it's like an upside down tear. So we're gonna use this concealer and we're gonna cut it out. I don't cut it out as precise, but you'll see what I mean by there. We're just cutting out a little bit of space. Then we're going to set it with a white eyeshadow, and then we're going to go back in with our black shadow, and we're going to finish it all in and cut that teardrop. But you'll see what I mean in the end. But let's just make sure that that little rounded spot on the eye is nice and crisp. The bottom, you don't have to worry about so much. Here we are just going with our white eyeshadow and setting that concealer where we had it. Now since we're doing two very opposite shades, setting all that concealer with a white eyeshadow will be just fine for when we do this look. But if you do this look with other colors, keep in mind that you want them to be very different or the crease color to be darker. That way when you go to make this look, it'll work and you'll be able to replicate this style. Here we are just going in with that black shadow again, and we're going to start shaping that teardrop just a little bit with a more of a pointed brush to go in and shape around the edges, and also bring it up around that edge just to darken right around where that line is, just to give it that depth and that dimension that we're looking for. Here I'm just going with Kat Von D's tattoo liner right around the edge. We have the shadow and the lines are pretty clean, but going with the liner is going to crisp that line up even more so we can see where we're going with this. So I really took my time on it, gave it a real faint line first, and we went in and I thickened it up just a little bit. We're also going to put a wing on this look because we're going to make Morticia a little bit more of our century. So even though she was a little bit just of a smoky crease, and she had a white lid, I wanted to make sure that we still kept that concept, but I did it with a little bit more pizzazz. Here I am just going back in with that black shadow with a much smaller tipped brush and just reinforcing that black gray shadow again, just to make sure it's really pigmented and really precise with where I want it to be, and then blending it back out. Just again, we need that dimension on our eye look that we're doing. Just using a crease blending brush, a little bit of a pointed tip to it, just to blend out where we just added that black shadow, just to blend it just a smidge into the crease. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of a fluffier brush just to make sure the edges of that shadow is nice and blended out completely. And then we're using a wipe just to clean up the shadow right under that wing. You know, we had to make her pop, so I went in with a little bit of Pop Beauty's Flash Shadows, and we are using Cosmetic Confetti on the white eyeshadow, and then the black, we're going to use Black Dazzle on the black liner. We're going to be using the Black Dazzle Flash Shadow on that, just to give this look a little bit more pop. Next, going with LA Girls Pro Coverage HD Foundation. Now, I know I put a bunch of this on my face, and once it was blended out, it's not really like a ton of coverage. And I didn't do any color corrector or anything like that, just because I didn't want to have all these weird spots, and I didn't really have white concealer. So, the foundation worked for the look, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It didn't do what I wanted to do. It wasn't even coverage or anything like that, but it worked for the look we were looking to do. And once I set it with Tarte's a setting powder, it stayed, it worked well, but coverage isn't, as you can see, it isn't HD coverage. It was just interesting, but it worked. And if you need for a Halloween night, you need white foundation, you don't want to go get face paint or pay for something like Kat Von D's, it's like $8 at the drugstore and it'll last you. So I guess that's all that matters. Going with Makeup Revolution's Pro HD Contour Kit. Just doing a little bit of contouring. Going back and looking, I wish I did a little bit more contouring on her face, but I didn't want to do too much because this was a little bit warmer than I would have liked for her look. Just going back in and making sure we put some gray eyeshadow right underneath her eyes to make them nice and smoky. Next, we're going to go on with Lime Crime's Velveteen and Rustic. I swear it's like the perfect red and I absolutely love it. But we're just going to pop this on our lips to give us that nice red lippy that she wears. Next, we're just going to go in with Tarte's Amazonian Clay Blush and Party, just to warm up the upper cheekbones of our face. We don't want to give too much warmth because that girl is beyond dead or beyond pale. I know you think I'm crazy, but we're pulling out the Sugar Glow Kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills. We're going to put a little bit of gold right on those upper cheekbones and a little bit all over the face because we're doing my version. Next, we're going with the Foxy Babes Lashes in Dream. And here is our finished updated Morticia for this 31 days of Halloween. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys took something away from this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you share it with a friend. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more of our videos from the 31 days of Halloween. And I will see you lovelies in my next tutorial. Bye!